Why black NFL players rarely stand up for themselves. The last few years, we've seen a huge change in the NFL. From the outside, the no fun league is looking like the place to be. Athletes are making more and more money. And with the rise of social media, they're becoming more recognizable, turning some of them into celebrities and icons. But with great power comes great responsibility. And in the black community, we have certain expectations for people who make it out. And I'm here to tell you that some NFL players do not live up to that expectation. The black community as a whole has a certain way of sending some energy towards you. If you are a sellout or considered a sellout, you will hear about it. The conscious community will watch your every move, because the last thing they want is another person taking advantage of black people. They've seen it done so many times by politicians and religious leaders who constantly feed them hope but never deliver. Athletes also feel the pressure from owners. These money-hungry billionaires act like they own people. They tell you what you can and can't say in public. They threaten to cut you off financially like some crazy biological parent. If your manager came in and told you not to vote for your favorite politician, you wouldn't find that weird? And not to mention, most billionaires can't take no for an answer. They see the NFL as some modern-day coliseum. Are you not entertained? Also, money is a big factor. Most people in the NFL have never seen this type of money. They didn't grow up rich or anything like that. They just woke up one day and then boom, they're millionaires. And money changes everybody. The last thing they want is to lose all those millions standing up for something. If money controls the world, then they are a willing participant. They put their bodies on the line for this money. They turn their backs on friends and family for this money. It could do a lot of good, but I think they use it for all the wrong reasons. And for the ones who do stay loyal to their friends and family, a new level of responsibility opens up. I've heard people spending a doctor's salary on family every year. People who will raise their money don't tend to have this problem. If a family member goes broke, they simply cut them off. They are part of a social club and they don't want a poor family member tainting it. If I'm in a Lamborghini, the last thing I want is you pulling up in a Honda. Just think of what the guys at the golf club will think. Some athletes also enjoy the rush of the game. It becomes an addiction. They don't feel like themselves if they're not playing. You have to realize this is a game they've been playing since they were children. So if someone threatens to take that away, they will do everything in their power to make sure it doesn't happen, even if it means sacrificing others. Can you imagine walking around and everyone looks up to you like you're some type of superhero? Kids beg for your autograph and women throw themselves at you? At every event, they point the cameras at you. People beg you to give a speech no matter where you at. If something happens in the world, everyone wants to hear your opinion about it. I can imagine that's something pretty hard to give up. It's as if the world revolves around you. One day you're begging for a date and the next day you're going out with an A-list actress. You start dating female athletes that are on the same level as you. You went from being considered boring to having Sierra on your arm. Who would choose to defend the black community over a life like that? I'm pretty sure some of them think they can make up for it later. They probably tell themselves that they'll donate money to a black cause. They might even say they'll build a school when they get really, really old. But for some reason, none of this ever comes true. They just die old and rich. I have never been a fan of waiting. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it immediately if I could. If I tell somebody I'm going to look out, my word is as good as an ironclad contract. I would never let my people drown, and I'm pretty sure everyone watching this now wouldn't either. Heck, maybe some of them have been at the top so long they simply forgot. Having too many yes men around you can cause a major disconnect. They will shield you from the truth and anybody who threatens their golden goose. I've seen people do some crazy things for money. So what makes you think they wouldn't shield you from the world? That's at least something I can understand. But the one thing I dislike is when somebody speaks about the black community but gives an excuse on why they can't help. For example, I heard one guy say that he wanted to separate personal life from business. And everyone knows he said that because he wanted to keep his starting job. He just simply pretended like he never seen anything bad happen to the black community. He sits back and hopes he's immune to injustice. He's the type to get pulled over and quickly tell the cop who he plays for, knowing very well if he didn't, he might catch a beating. People like that are a joke to me. I also think that some people don't speak up because they don't have other skills. I know a Pro Bowl athlete, and I won't say his name, that can't read. This man went to one of the top colleges in the US and was constantly praised, but lacked proper education. So if he ever lost an NFL job, what would he do with his life? He put all his eggs in one basket, now he's at the mercy of owners. The last thing anyone on earth wants is to be at the mercy of someone else. If you are not free, you are simply a slave. And just to be clear, I am aware there are agents who want the players to be quiet. I know CEOs of certain brands are telling them not to speak up. Everyone wants to profit off them, but no one wants to hear their opinion. But I think it's time for them to stand up for themselves no matter what the consequence is. Because the legacy you leave behind is the only thing you can truly hang your hat on. I would not want history to look back at me as a sellout. I want to live a life of glory, a life of joy, a life of freedom. I want everything equal and balanced, as they should be. The game of football is fun, but is it worth your dignity? You are a rich man, but how much was your soul worth? Will you ever stand up for yourself? Will you ever love yourself? And will you ever show the same love that your supporters showed you? It's not too late and we have many more seasons to come. So the opportunity still stands, but it's up to you to make that choice. Now hit subscribe.